Welcome back everyone. So in today's video we will be going through a very quick tutorial on Google BigQuery. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so like I mentioned, in today's video we will be going through a very quick tutorial on Google BigQuery data warehouse. Alright, so at a very high level, I will be showing you how to set up a GCP project, and then I will go ahead and show you how to open BigQuery UI. We will go ahead and create a dataset, load data into our tables, and then from there I will show you how to run your queries and some other quick features on BigQuery. Alright, so let's jump into it. Okay, so to start BigQuery, what you want to do is to log in into your GCP account. So I'm just going to go here to GCP console, and we will just open GCP console. So right here you might see something like this. Go to console, and obviously you do need to have a Gmail in order to log into Google environment, because they need your email ID. Okay, so just log in, and then you might see something like this the first time you log in, but you might also see something different if you've never created a project before. So for me, by default, it logs me into my existing project, but I will show you how to create a new project now. I will not use my existing one, and then from there I will show you how to use the services under that project. Okay, so again, a project in BigQuery is a container that will store all of your resources that you use in GCP environment. So you do need a project in order to run anything on BigQuery, really. I mean anything on Google Cloud Platform, and that is where you get billed on, right? So the project is so if you run anything in the project, you actually do need to tie that project into a billing account, and that's how GCP will be able to bill you and charge you for the services that you use. So I'm just going to go here. I will click here, and so you can see I do have one project now. I'm going to create a new project, so you can just follow something similar to this, and just name your project, right? So I'm going to call this one demo project, right? Demo project, like so. And then for the organization, if you have any organization, you can select it. I don't have it, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit create right here. Okay, so the project now is getting created. So once you hit create, it will take a few seconds, and as you can see, the project now has been created. Now to use that project, what you want to do is just click here. All right, and then you will see the projects here in the recent button. If you don't see it here, then you can also go to this section here for all projects, and I don't see it here. I may have to refresh this again in order to see that, I guess. Okay, so it's not showing up in my all projects here. So just go to all the recent projects here if you don't see it on the other tab. And so in order to use that project, that is if you have several projects, right? In order to use it, you just need to select into it. Okay, so I'm just going to select this, and now we are inside our new project, right? So so now this is the dashboard here, the GCP dashboard, and from here you can do a number of things. You can go to billing, BigQuery, IAM, and all of that. So in this video, I mentioned that we will be using BigQuery. So sometimes you see it in the UI here, just the way we see it here, right? So you can see BigQuery here, and you can just go ahead and open BigQuery from here, right? Or if you don't see it here, then you can go to services or the navigation menu here, and then you can scroll down, and you will see BigQuery right here. Okay, just scroll down up to when you see BigQuery. I think it's usually, so for me, I have it pinned here. You might not see it in the pinned section. So if you don't see that, then you might have to go to view all products, and then you can also type here, right? You can search BigQuery. Right, so BigQuery, and the one we are looking for is data warehouse or analytics, right? So just open that, and that will bring you to the BigQuery dashboard here. Okay, so you can see both of these two tabs brings us into the BigQuery UI. So whichever one you choose should bring you to the studio here. So a few things that you quickly see here, right? Once you open the studio, you can see you do have the SQL query here. So if you open this will basically open a new tab where you can run your queries. Some of the other things you can see, we have notebooks, data canvas, data preparation pipeline. So we are not going to go through some of these other features because this video will go forever. Again, BigQuery is a big data warehouse, so there are a lot of features, but in today's video I'll just show you the basic stuff in BigQuery, and then maybe in future we'll dig deeper into some of these other features that are available in BigQuery. Now the UI keeps changing, so this video is in 2025. Maybe if you watch a video that was made 3 years ago, the UI was different then. They keep releasing new features, so if you watch this video in future, then most likely they may have added more things into this environment. But this is how the UI looks like right now. And so one thing that you will want to take a look into immediately is your project here, right? So your dataset. So immediately when you open the studio, you will have your project here listed as one of the basically it's just your project ID or a dataset ID that is associated with your project. So this will be holding all of the schemas that you will be creating, right? So if we want to bring new data here, then you will need to create a dataset under this project ID or a BigQuery project ID, and that is where you will now store your objects, really, like tables, views, stored procedures, defined functions, all of those things. So now if you expand this, you will see we have repos, we have queries, notebooks, and all of these other things that you see on the right side here, right? So we will not cover any of this really today, but just at a high level, repos, if you have datasets that are sitting on in GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, then you can connect those repos here and bring your queries here, right? So that is just basic repositories. If you have queries that you have shared with folks in your team, or you just want to save queries for later use, then you can put them here. So if you run queries here and you save it, then it will be showing here, and I think we can I'll show you that later in this video. Notebooks, canvases, so these are some of the other features that are available for you. Most of them are just basic or tools that you can use to prepare your data within this environment. So in order to create tables and load data into your BigQuery environment, because that's what we really need to do, right? You want to be able to run queries within this environment. Now to do that, there are a few things that you need to do in order for that to happen. So what I will show you today is how you can load a file from your local environment, but there are a few ways that you can load data into BigQuery. So you can see down here, you can upload a file from your local machine into BigQuery. You can also upload a file from Google Drive or Google Cloud Storage. So I have done a few videos in the past where I went through the process of loading data from Google Cloud Storage into BigQuery, but I will probably make another comprehensive video later on how to load data to BigQuery, just various ways of how to load data into BigQuery, and maybe you can go through that at a very high level. So what you want to do here then is to create a dataset, right? So if you go here, this is your project. You want to create a dataset. So a dataset in BigQuery is kind of like a database or a schema, whichever traditional database you come from, right? So basically a dataset will be holding your tables, views, stored procedures, all of those things. So whether you call that one a database or a schema, it's kind of the same idea in BigQuery. So to do that again, what you want to do is right click into your project ID here, and then we'll go ahead and create a dataset. and you can put the dataset name here. So again, for the dataset, you definitely want to name it something meaningful. So for me, actually in this video, we will be loading movies data. So I will call this one movies dataset, like so. And then for the location, you can choose it as multi-region the way it is for me, or leave it as region. So I will just leave this as default, and then we'll go ahead and create this dataset. Okay, so this dataset now has been created, and as you can see, it is showing up right here. Okay, so now in this dataset you don't have any table available currently. So then the next thing that you want to do is create a table and load the data. Now BigQuery, you can run just basic DDL statement like create table, and put the like the field names, and then insert into that table. So you can do that. If you have a script, you can just do the same thing. For me, I'm going to load a file from my local machine. So what we want to do for that one is, if you go right here, so there are a few ways of doing that. So you can go directly here, create a table, and then it's going to pop this menu here. Or if you go to next to the dataset, just click here and then create a table. It will bring you to the same place, right? So here what you want to do is, you can if you click into this, you will see a few options. So you can create an empty table, or you can create a table from a file that is sitting on Google Cloud Storage. You can upload from your local machine. You can bring a file from Drive, Google BigQuery, Amazon S3, Azure Blob Storage, or existing table, or a few. So these are the options that are currently available. So for my case, I'm going to do this one for upload from a local machine, but you could do the same thing if you have a file in Google Cloud Storage. Okay, and then here you just want to browse to where that file is located. So for my case, I have a file on desktop here, and I'm just going to bring that file over. Okay, so I'm just going to click this, and this is a CSV file. By default, it's going to detect it, and you can see we have a few options of formats here, right? So for this case, I do have a CSV. This is a destination project, and the movies dataset is where we want to load this table or a file to. So you can also change this if you want to load it to a different dataset. And then so for the table here, we want to name or give the name for the table. So for this, I will call this one Netflix movies, right? Netflix movies. And then so this one is going to be a native table. This means that it's going to be stored in BigQuery. Now if you are going to create an external table, then you will see that option here. So that's another concept of a table in BigQuery called external table. External tables will have the data stored somewhere else. So mostly it's usually a Google Sheets or a Google Drive. If you just want to query that data and you don't want to load it to BigQuery, that will be an external table. So this is going to be a native table, and for the schema, so this will be the column names or the field names. There are two ways of doing that. You can do the auto detect, and I'm going to do that. So basically what will happen here is BigQuery will scan that file and match the schema that we have in the file. Now if I show you that file looks like this right here. So we have the IDs here on the first row here, right? So we have the column names, and we have the rest of the data matching the field names here. So what BigQuery will do is that it's going to go through the rows, auto detect the columns, and then basically for the data types, it will scan. I think it usually does the first few rows of each column, and then it will tell you whether it's an integer, string, and things like that. So so that's what it will do. So we'll go with this. For the other option, for edit, you can create a JSON schema here and just paste it here, and that is also another way of putting the schemas. So again, I'll go with the auto detect one. I'm not going to do partitioning for this, but you can also partition if you have any partition specific column like that. So you can also do by ingestion time like this. So if this is a huge file, you definitely want to partition it, and also clustering as well. So you can put the clustering here. So you can put the fields that you want to cluster this by. So these are just some things that can help with performance. You can tag this table, and if you go down here, you will see some additional options here. So now, right here, there are a few options here in the right preferences. What you want to do here is you can choose what right preference you want to go with. For my guess, I will do a override, I think, on this one. Maybe no, let's just write it if them, because this is a new table. Do it right if empty. So what this will do is, if the table is empty, it's going to write. Now if you do this multiple times, then if it's not empty, then if you go with this option, it's going to throw an error. So if you have an existing table, you might want to go with append, and the data will be appended for that. If you want to recreate this table or basically truncate it, then you can go with override. So again, for this one, I'm going to go with write if empty, and so you can scroll down here. This just some additional options here. This is a CSV file, so that looks good for me. Header rows to skip. So if you define your own schema, then you can skip the header rows. So let's say 3 or 1. Usually it's the first row that we want to skip. For me, I'm doing auto detect, so we will not skip the header. And then these two options here I have found to be useful when you're loading a CSV file, especially that has values like these ones for us, right? So when you look at this file here, it has description column sometimes goes, it has like some new lines and things like that. And so if you have a field like this where you have a string of characters that usually goes, or like goes to a new line and things like that, then those options or these options might be useful. So quoted new lines, so we want to do this because some of the files that we have in that file are pretty long. So this is what it does: enable to include new lines containing quoted data. Okay, so we want that. And then for this one, enable to accept rows that are missing trailing optional columns. So I'll do this as well. And then I think that's pretty much it. And then we'll go ahead and create this table then. So just hit create table, and this is going to create and load our file. So if all is good, then you will see now that the table will be created. Now if there are any errors, then that's also going to show up as well. Okay, so right here now we have our table here created for Netflix movies. Now if we just click into this table here, you can see now under schema you have your column names and the associated types. So you can see again we did auto detect for this. So BigQuery went through, scanned this file, and determined that the show ID here is a string, the type is a string. Now for sometimes you might see like there are some field names that you might be like Boolean, or a different data type, could be a date but it's coming as a string. For example, date added here is coming as a string. So once the data is here in BigQuery, you can do additional cleanup and change the data types here. Okay, so yeah, so just click into this table, and yeah, so you can just preview the schema here. And then if you go to the details tab here, you can see additional information. So the table ID you see here, this is your table ID, and then when it was created, when it was last modified, and then some other information. If you have like partitioning, that information is going to show up here as well. But yeah, so when you see here now, you can see the number of rows just by previewing this. So this is usually also pretty good. If you don't want to run the query itself to count the rows, then you can just go to details here and you can see just how big your table is. So for example, this one has about 8,800 records, and this is how big it is. And yeah, so we don't have any partitioning on this table. If we had, you will see it, some additional labels, descriptions and tags and things like that. You could see them here if that information exists in the table. Okay, so this is just one place where you can see information regarding the table that you have in your BigQuery environment. Okay, and then the other thing that you can see here is preview. If you go to preview here, now with preview you can see what is contained in your data without having to run the query itself. So you can see here, this is just a high level overview or a preview of your data. So it just gives you an idea of how your data or your table looks like, right? So you have your rows, your column names here or your field names, and the associated information as well. Okay, so I find this pretty useful if you just want to quickly scan your data and see how it looks like before you go ahead and query, right? Great. So this is how it looks like. So this is one place that you can always use to preview your data. And then we have another option here. I think this is a new feature here, Table Explorer here. Just gives you the query, right? So it gives you the query or that you can write. So I'm just going to copy this. Here I will copy this and I'm going to close this, but you can just do that, just copy this and basically run it. I think this is a new feature. You have insights here and lineage. So lineage here, let's enable this API for lineage. So lineage, if you are using this table so if you are using this table in joins or like in other downstream queries, right, then you will see how this table is being used. So currently I'm not using this table to create anything else, so it's just one table here. But if we had some other sort procedures or tables that are getting data from this table here, you will see it. You will see some arrows pointing to those tables right here. Okay, so you will see that here. And then we have data profile here, and then data qualities. So you could use this as well. Now, in order to run a query in BigQuery, in order to basically query this table, right, then you can just go here and just right here in query, you can do just open this, and this is going to populate a new tab with a query here. And then what you want to do then is just go ahead and query this table, right? So let's query this table, for example, and I'm just going to run some few queries on this. So let's go back to our preview here, and this is how our preview looks like. So let's get movies that were made in let's see, we have the countries here. I'm just going to pick a random country. Let's go with Kenya, for example. So I'll go with let's get a few field names here, show ID. So you can see it auto completes, right? So let's get show ID. Let's get the type of the movie, whether it's a movie or a television show, right? And then we can do the title, right? The title for this movie. And then I will also get who the director was for this movie. We will get the cast, yes, so that those will be the actors. And we can also get the country. And lastly, we will get maybe I'll do date added and duration. Yeah, date added and duration. Okay. And then for this we will do I'm just going to fill that this where country, let's say this one is in Kenya right here. Okay. So you can see here in BigQuery, like we have a column name that is using a BigQuery keyword, like cast is a BigQuery keyword. So for scenarios like this, you can use backticks. So backticks like that. So if you do that, then this error will be will go away, right? So you can do something like that. Now, yeah, so I have my query here now, and to run, just go ahead and hit run right here. And now this is going to give us our data, as you can see right here. So we have our records here now, and you can see these are the movies that were produced in Kenya. And so the 46 just in time disconnect, these are the directors. We have the cast here, and you know, the rest of this other information. Okay, so you get the idea now of how you run your query. So if you know SQL, then you can just come here and run your SQL query. So all you have to do is just, you know, click a new tab here, and you know, just write your queries, right? From now, usually if you in BigQuery, you like, I think you use backticks for the table, but I believe even if you don't use backticks as well, this should still run. Yes, yeah. So this should still run, but I think for readability, you can use just backticks to surround your table right here. And you can see we are using the tree namespace nomenclature, like right here. Like we are going with the project ID here, then the movies, and the the dataset and the table name right here. So we are using the project dataset and then the table itself. Okay, in other databases, usually like in MySQL, once you run a query, use this database, then you can just go ahead and run the tables inside that database. In BigQuery, I haven't seen that, so you might have to do the whole thing in order for you to run your queries. Okay, and now we have our query here. So I'm not going to do more queries here. You know, you get the idea. I just wanted to show you how to do that. Now, one few other things that you can do here. For example, you can schedule this query, and this is going to give us what we call scheduled queries. So if you want to run this query daily or hourly, say if this query is feeding a report or something, and you want to have this query run at regular intervals, then for that, all you have to do is, once you have your query ready, then you can go here and click schedule, and you do have to enable the API here. And so once this one is ready, right, so you can see here what you can just name your query here, let's say daily report, and then you can put the frequency, and here, down here, like you just select, right, the frequency, how you know, how often do you want this to run. Think you can do custom, which will be like the cron expression tree, I believe. And then you choose the frequency there, go ahead and select the destination. Okay, so which will mostly be the movies dataset here for this, and then the table ID in our case will be Netflix movies, I believe. Yeah, so you just select the table, and then you can go ahead. Now if you want to overwrite or append, you can do that. And you know, after all of that is done, just go ahead and save this. This is once you save this, just go to details. This is going to ask us to leave. That's fine, we can leave there. And now you see we have under scheduled queries, you have your scheduled query here. So I think the first time we schedule this, it's going to run immediately. I think we did put the option to run right now, and then after that it's going to run every 1 hour after that. Okay, now if you don't have a destination table with this name, then I think it usually will create a new table for you and keep appending the data there. Okay, so for all the scheduled queries in BigQuery, this is where it usually goes in BigQuery, scheduled queries. Okay, and then now to get out of this, you can come back to Studio here, and we do have, where is our so you can see here the query that we were running right now was deleted. So if something like that happens, right, where you lost your query and you had not saved it, you can come down here to job history. I think it's this one here. So if you come to job history here, and so this was the scheduled query that we just ran, and I think if we open the second one here, there we go. So that will give us the query that we ran before we lost it. So I'm just going to copy it and just paste it back here. Okay, so this is our query now. Again, you run it, it's going to give us our records. So job history is also one place where you can get your historical queries that you have run. Okay, and then some other things that you can do with your query results, you can export or save these results. So if you go save it here, say somebody wanted you to run a query and provide them with the results. If they don't have BigQuery access, then you can run the query here and basically just save these results as a CSV. So if you save it as a CSV, it's going to download this file and you can get it from your local you can open it locally, right? So this is how it, that file looks like when you download it. That will contain the data. And then one other thing you can also, there are a few other things you can do here, right? So you can copy the clipboard, you can send this to Google Sheets. Okay, so this is going to save it in Google Sheets, and if you open it, you can also do the same. You can see here we have opened and exported those results to Google Sheets, and from here you can just go ahead and share it with the team. And then you can also save this to Drive, or you can create another table out of this. So you can do a BigQuery table and just select the dataset where you want this to go to and put the name. For this case, let's do Kenyan movies for this, right? And just go ahead and save it, and this table will be created. So these results will be exported as a table, and there we go. So from here now you can now query this as a new table. So this will be a new table with static results. Okay, so there we go. So you have your data here. Now one other additional thing that you can do within BigQuery here is you can export this table. So if you click into your original table, for example, you can export this into Google Cloud Storage. And yeah, so if, for example, if you wanted to store this data in Google Cloud Storage so that you can reuse it later or delete it after, basically like backing up, once you delete it and you want to store it somewhere else that is cheaper, then you can do it like this. So in this case, we want to export this Netflix movies table to Google Cloud Storage. So right here you can see here it asking you to browse. So let's go ahead and browse. We don't have a packet, and this project is a new project. We don't have a Google Cloud Storage packet. So to do that, let's just go ahead and create a Google Cloud Storage packet. So I'll go here to Google Cloud Storage. Again, you can search it right up here if you don't see it in your pinned section here. So just search it, and then this will bring you to Google Cloud Storage packet. Right now I don't have any packet here, so I'll create one packet here, and we'll just name this one. Yeah, let's just name this one something like this, demo packet 01, right? And then I'm just going to create this. This one exists, so let's say 0123. It has to be unique. Let's create this. Okay, I'm not going to, yeah, public access will be prevented, that's fine. Okay, so we have created our packet. Now if you refresh this, you actually know we have our packet here. So if you go to packets again, now you can see that we have a packet here and we don't have any data here. So let's go ahead and export that table now to this packet. So if you go here again and you select it, now you can see that that packet is popping up. We can select this packet, and basically you want to enter the name of your file, how it will be named in GCS after you export it. So I'm going to name this one movies. That's it. Maybe let's, I don't know, maybe do CSV, like, yeah, so that it can be a CSV file, I guess. And then we'll select it and go ahead and save this. And you can see now here it says it's getting exported and it has finished exporting it. So if we go now to our packet and refresh it, we should be able to see a file here. There we go. So now we have a file here, movie CSV, and you can go ahead and download this file if you want it. and preview it. So let's open this with Microsoft Excel. There we go. So basically the same file that we uploaded is now showing up in Google Cloud Storage. Very good. Okay, so that is how you export a Google BigQuery table to Google Cloud Storage. What else have we left here? Okay, so again, we do have more features here in the dashboard here. We have, for example, data form, data transfers. We touched a little bit on scheduled queries, scheduling, monitoring, and a number of these other things. So I think that will be pretty much it for this video. I will follow up with some more videos, maybe how to load data from different means, using CLI, maybe using a Python code or using Google Cloud Function. So stay tuned. I think I will be releasing more videos on BigQuery and how to use it in general, and we'll also dive into some of these other features that are available in BigQuery, like how to use data transfers, how to use data form, and some other data engineering services in GCP, like Dataflow, Dataprog, and some of those other nice tools. So we will be going deeper into that in later videos, so definitely make sure that you are subscribed in the channel so that you can stay updated for those videos. Alright guys, I think this is pretty much it. I just wanted to show you at a very high level how you can use BigQuery if you're a beginner in BigQuery. And so I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please give it thumbs up, and again, do subscribe to the channel so that you can be updated when I release videos like this in future. Alright guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.